The internet is full of countless rabbit holes, mysteries, and ARGs. 1 second you're mindlessly scrolling. Then before you know it, you're deep inside a strange digital world, trying to get to the bottom of what it all means. And one of these digital worlds is controlled by an individual who goes by the name the Tin Man. Before we dive in, I would like to give a shout out to our channel members who continuously support the channel. Your memberships are greatly appreciated. You can also become a member by clicking the join button, or support by simply making sure that you're subscribed. But enough of that. It's time to dive into the twisted world of the Tin Man. The mystery starts with the upload of this video.
1 4 1 1 3 1 4 9 2 5 8 2 1 3 1 9.
At only 17 seconds long, the only thing the video appears to feature is a series of numbers, as well as a woman's voice reading the numbers out loud. For 9 days after this upload, the Tin Man channel would upload 9 more videos, all of which in the same style as the first: a black screen, numbers, and a robotic woman's voice. But on the 11th day, the video uploaded was a lot different. This one was titled The Key.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Unlike the previous uploads, this video featured clips from what appeared to be the Cold War or World War II era. And moving forward, I want to give credit to Vegas Anon on the Pastebin website, who posted the investigation process of these videos back in June of 2015. Their post is now gone, but is accessible with the Wayback Machine. I don't want to give the impression that I deciphered these messages, and would like to give credit where credit is due. Back to the first of the 10 videos, it was clear to those investigating this that these numbers had to mean something. Taking the numbers provided and putting them into a simple cipher, where A equals 1, or in this case, 01, B equals 02, C equals 03, and so forth, we get this message. When reversed, it reads,
I am the Tin Man.
Deciphering the rest of these videos gives us this full message.
I am the Tin Man. Found the code. Good. Then you've heard that the messages are playing backwards. Remember, there are always deeper meanings. The first one is for the gullible fools that can't see, that can't hear the second meaning he is calling out to us, because it's dark, and grief is only the start. We must realign and hurry forth. If you have listened, this fair grace will bestow. We must quickly carry out the mission set before us.
The Tin Man informs us that there is a deeper meaning, that the first is for the gullible fools who can't hear the second message. He also instructs us to realign and hurry forth. Firstly, when you take the 10 titles and arrange them or realign them in order from last to first, this message appears using the letters from the titles.
It's not over. I'm still her.
At this point in the investigation, it was debated on if the Tin Man meant to say here or her, but we can clearly see that there is a message hidden in the titles. And around this same time, internet detectives over on Reddit began to make their own discoveries. One person sped up the audio, as in hurry forth, for all 10 of the videos, and found that each contained a separate message hidden in the audio. They also found out that the audio from the 10 videos was all included in the key video by aligning them into the correct order and using the audio from the key to phase out the counting woman's voice. To explain this a bit further, audio signal is made up of waves, and something really cool that happens when you have two identical waves and reverse the polarity of one is that the two signals completely cancel each other out. That is a simplified explanation, but using this technique, the Redditor discovered a new message.
The messages are playing back.
Applying this process to all of the clips resulted in this.
The messages are playing back. The messages are playing backwards.
You must keep this private. The real message comes in the dark. Seeing isn't believing. Hear words. Darkness will save you. He will not save you. Grace, grace. Stand by for further orders.
While a lot of this does not appear to make sense, the final line,
Stand by for further orders,
goes along well with the original hidden message mention of the mission set before us. Further investigations would uncover the Tin Man's Google Plus account, where this number code was found. Deciphered, it translates to,
a trail to the body is a leap to the mind.
At this point, it was theorized that this line tied into the her from the "it's not over, I'm still her" message, but it was all still very unclear. The question now was, what was this mission that the Tin Man spoke of? While it would seem that the Tin Man was keeping a watchful eye on the investigation, because shortly after the first wave of videos was deciphered, the Tin Man would upload a second wave of videos. This time, it was 6 in total. While they featured the same robotic voice that read the numbers out loud, this time the numbers appeared in circles. The videos were all uploaded on June 14th, 2015, and the first one was titled Tin_Body 1. followed by 10B04, CO3, H02, I01, and U05. The reasoning for the descending order minus the fifth video is unknown, but in the first video, Body 01, it was discovered that when reversed, it was the audio from President Robert F. Kennedy's famous 1961 speech about space travel, but this version was edited to remove mentions of the moon and space.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of returning him to the earth. No single project will be more important to mankind, more important to mankind, kind.
Over on 4chan, Anons noticed a pattern of dots blinking in the tin body video, and this pattern ended up being Morse code. Translating the Morse code revealed this message:
Be sure to drink your Ovaltine full.
This was a reference to the movie A Christmas Story, where a boy named Ralphie uses a decoder ring to decipher the message, "Be sure to drink your Ovaltine," from a radio broadcast contest. This was believed to be a hint at how to decipher the Tin Man's next messages. The movie cipher was found, but using it yielded no results, leading people to believe that a similar cipher had to be used, but with little to no clues, finding out the cipher key was practically impossible. The next course of action was to move on to the videos numbered 1 through 5. It turned out that the background noise of each of these videos was all the same, and, when sped up and reversed, revealed this message:
Are you a fool or sinner?
Arranging the video titles also spelled out the word UBCHI, or UBCHI, which is a ciphering technique, but the UBCHI cipher needs a key to work, and at the time the investigation had no clue what this key could be. The only messages discovered from the second wave were,
Be sure to drink your Ovaltine full.
and
Are you a fool or sinner?
as we can see, the Tin Man seems to enjoy calling us fools. In the first message, the Morse code, and again in the reversed audio from the second wave, almost as if he's mocking us, watching everyone running around trying to solve his riddles, playing directly into his game, just like fools. Despite the second wave number codes still unsolved, it would only be 2 days after the release of the second wave that the Tin Man would upload again. This time it was a single video, and it was titled Tin_LRU6.
5, 5, 2, 5, 5, 8, 3, 1, 5, 5, 9, 1, 5, 2, 1, 2, 5, 1, 5, 2, 2, 4, 1, 9, 1, 2, 7, 1, 9, 1, 1, 2, 5.
It was 1 minute and 50 seconds long, and like the others, featured a robotic woman's voice reading out the coded message in numbers. After decoding the message, it read,
Sinners know it's unfinished. The pieces come after you squint. UBCHI.
It seemed like the Tin Man was aware that people were having trouble solving his second wave of codes, and there was also a scrambled YouTube URL that appeared for only a brief moment. Going back to the last phrase, UBCHI, when read aloud, sounds the same as UBCHI, the UBCHI cipher technique. Clearly, this had to mean that in order to unscramble the URL, the UBCHI cipher would be needed. The problem, like before, was that you need a key. But thankfully, since a YouTube URL is formatted in a certain way, investigators had enough information to use a brute force method, which involves trying every possible combination until one works. And just like that, the URL was decoded, which brought us to the video titled The Pen. This video features a woman behind bars who appears to be trying to escape. It's only 15 seconds long, but surely, like the other videos, there had to be a hidden message somewhere. First of all, in frames of the video where the audio is distorted, the Tin Man finally reveals himself. He appears in this negative, which once corrected reveals the true image. We can see one of his eyes looking at the camera through his tinfoil mask. But perhaps something even more intriguing than this was that when looked through a spectrogram, a visual representation of the frequency spectrum over time in this video, we find this terrifying message.
My sacrifice.
This almost certainly had to be about the woman in the video, which begs the question, what exactly does the Tin Man mean by sacrifice? Going further into the rabbit hole, I have to state that at this point in making the video, a lot of the links to the Tin Man's uploads become harder to find. But thankfully I did manage to dig some of the video links up as well as screenshots and clips from the ones that I couldn't find. It would be a little over a week before the Tin Man began to upload another wave of videos. From what I can tell, these began to upload on June 27th, 2015. I was able to find the links for all but one. Thankfully though, their messages have been documented already. The first video, tin_03191, goes like this.
4, 2, 1, 2, 4, 1, 8, 7, 1, 2, 2, 1, 8, 2, 2, 8, 2, 3, 7, 2, 1, 1, 1, 4, 2, 2, 5, 1, 1, 6, 1, 9, 2.
This was followed by 4 more uploads, all of which made in the style from the first wave, a number code, and an audio code, finishing off with the last video, tin_1202x. The audio messages discovered in these videos was,
The game ends here, Anons. The game ends here. It's been fun. Time for some real work. Well, I'm still her.
This was interpreted to mean 2 things. Either that we had failed and the Tin Man was going to end the game, or that the difficulty of the puzzles was about to increase. The latter would make more sense, as the number codes from this wave and the number codes from the second wave were still unsolved. It was known that the Oopchi cipher had to be used to decode these, but there was just too much to brute force, and without the correct key, decoding the messages would be impossible. So sleuths kept searching for anything that could help them uncover who the Tin Man was, who the woman was, and what all of this really meant. Which brings us to the video playlists. The first wave of videos were all put into one playlist. It was titled with a number code. The same thing would go for the second wave, and again for the third. Taking all of these titles and decoding them using the simple cipher revealed what seemed to be random letters, but they were actually cryptograms, and not crypto as in Bitcoin. Putting them into a cryptogram solver reveals the true name of each playlist: Subroutines, Disambiguate, and Charlatans. Vegas Anon quotes one of the sleuths from 4chan who defines each of the playlist names. Playlist 1, Subroutines. Tin Man says the first one is for the gullible fools that can't see. That explains the title, Subroutines. It means that you don't just have to look at the obvious. Second playlist, Ambiguate. Ambiguate, or ambiguity, means something of doubtful meaning, that with the puzzle pieces you find, it can go every direction. So again, that you have to think before you assume something. Third playlist, charlatans. Charlatans means a person falsely claiming to have a special knowledge or skill. There have been suspicions that there has been a person or multiple persons on the chat that watches us and keeps guessing with us, won't call names. So, we have to see who speaks the truth and who doesn't. A subroutine is a set of instructions designed to perform a frequently used operation within a program, which implies that with the first playlist, the Tin Man started his program and watched as the instructions he gave us were followed like he intended. This ambiguate, telling us that every clue could contain a clue within a clue. And charlatans, a fraud. The 4chan Anon believes that this meant somebody close to the Tin Man, or even the Tin Man himself, could be keeping watch over the investigation from within, manipulating it from the inside. Unfortunately, those attempting to solve the mystery were met with a brick wall. The key needed to decode the unsolved messages seemed non-existent. But the Tin Man continued to upload every day for around 5 years. There are currently thousands of uploads on the Tin Man's page, but unlike all of the videos that we've seen thus far, these mostly feature the same audio and are typically each 24 seconds long. Some interesting things about these uploads are the thumbnails, which come in groups that can be arranged to form an image. These images are taken from frames within the previous uploads. There are also some videos that feature a 0 in the thumbnail, but other than that, they continue to be the same as the other 1,000 uploads. This went on from July 1st, 2015, all the way until December 28th, 2020, and since then, the Tin Man's YouTube page has remained silent. But among these seemingly meaningless uploads, there are 2 public videos that really stick out. The first one was uploaded on March 9th, 2016, and is titled Tin_The Room. My first thought was that it felt like I was playing a horror game. We find ourselves inside of a dark room, surrounded by 4 screens. 3 of them are flashing numbers at us, but the 4th appears to have its wiring cut. Following the wire down, we're greeted with another series of numbers. And looking up at the ceiling, we see a light that also contains a hidden number message. Taking all of the numbers from the video and deciphering them reveals this.
Fools get distracted. What are you looking for? Hidden in the light above. Her end was the beginning. As above, so below. Success is failure. Light cannot shine without darkness.
Again, the Tin Man calls us fools, and this time he implies that the mystery woman is dead. The mention of as above, so below is also interesting, as the phrase has roots dating back to ancient times. The original phrase is that which is above is like that to which is below, and that which is below is like that which is above. This has been interpreted as that which happens in the physical world must also happen in the spiritual world by many occultists for a very long time. Put into the context of the Tin Man, it could mean that which happens in the physical world will also happen in the digital world, but that is just my theory. Moving on to the second video, this one was titled Tin_C2A.
It's time to wake up.
Some of you may become somewhat uncomfortable as parts of this film unfold.
We're used to seeing things from a particular point of view.
Normally conditioned American. His brain has not only been washed, as they say, it has been dry cleaned.
But perhaps a large part of the problem is with you yourself. Yes, you.
There are 2 basic objectives to which we would like to draw your attention.
One of which is to carry out and to execute certain intelligence operations.
And second, to free all the people enslaved.
I want to remind you that there are products in your home that can cause injury or death.
Your government insists.
To survive, we must be just as alert, just as prepared as our forefathers.
The only hope is the truth.
But there are some as phony as a $3 bill. Your study of propaganda is important not only to you, but to me.
And let's not forget,
We were welded together into one great team, a team in which you are an indispensable and working member.
So let's be alert and realize as Americans that freedom is everybody's job.
Well, that's the story. Almost.
Work is continuing in this field. Work that we still don't know very much about.
These records that we've uncovered don't tell the story, they tell pieces of it.
You can always backtrack, but for the moment, let us assume that you're one of those lucky ones who can begin at the beginning, begin at the beginning, begin at the beginning.
What's interesting about this video is that it contains 3 different URL links. The first link was found at the very beginning of the C2A video and takes us to a video titled 10_donations.
People always dig down and give after a tragedy.
Gives you something to think about, doesn't it?
Which appears to be a longer version of the clip we saw in C2A. The second link was found in a single frame at the 38-second mark, and it leads to a video titled 10_every_town.
Every town. The town in which you and I live. In the north, south, east, or west. Our homes, our work, our recreations and security are challenged daily by an enemy. This enemy strikes oftenest at youth. The enemy and his victims are easily forgotten.
And the third link was found throughout the whole video by looking at the corners of many frames. This video was titled 10_monsters.
Monsters do have their place. In the zoo, in your nightmares, in the deep, in your favorite horror movies.
The meaning of these 3 videos is not known, and to further complicate things, a number code was also found at the 12-second mark of the C2A video, but when deciphered, came back to this. But this didn't help at all. It didn't work as a key, and at this point it felt as though the Tin Man was beginning to toy with everybody. But apart from these, there were also 3 now deleted or lost videos. Thankfully, there are some clips and screenshots from them, as well as the documented findings from each one of them. The first one we'll take a look at was titled 10_mind1. It was uploaded on Halloween 2015. And it featured a globe and a string of numbers which translated to,
"This message is brought to you by fools."
The video was put under a spectrogram, which revealed a pattern of waves. It was theorized that the Tin Man's previous message, a link to the body is a trail to the mind, could imply that the mind's audio could be used to unlock the body's video message, but we'll come back to that. On the very same day as the Mind 1 video, the Tin Man also uploaded 10_link1. This video featured 2 faces and a series of coded numbers flashing on the screen. The message deciphered from the video read,
"The fools that haven't been leveled, they clutch with zero understanding. It hasn't been finished. It's time to assemble."
When put through a spectrogram, an Egyptian Eye of Horus was discovered. The significance of this was debated, but some believed that it was the Tin Man's way of showing us that he is watching. And the final video was titled 10_body2. This video appeared to be filmed in the same room as the Penn video, and flashes images that appear to be that of the Tin Man grabbing the woman in the video. Aside from these images, numbers also flashed on the screen. Translated, they read,
Decoy. Be a fool. Canterbury.
Decoy and be a fool are pretty straightforward, but Canterbury seems to be a little bit out of left field. I looked up the definition of Canterbury and got 3 results. A city in England, a stand for holding papers, or a supper tray, but none of these made sense. So the next thing I did was run it through a cryptogram solver. We now have the word peacefully. This can't be a coincidence, but the video contents are anything but peaceful. Now, I mentioned earlier that the audio from the mind could have been the key to unlocking the message in the Body video. But now there was 2 videos titled Body. There was also a possibility that the Mind video could have had something to do with the Link video, but I believe it makes more sense for a Mind key to be used for the Body 1 video, seeing as how that video still had an unsolved code. But unfortunately, since we don't have the full audio from the Mind video, it's impossible for me or anybody else to test this theory out, leaving everybody at a dead end yet again. The Tin Man's final upload was on December 28th, 2020, almost 5 years before the time of this recording. Since then, many of the videos and playlists have either been unlisted or outright deleted, leaving us to assume that the Tin Man has either ended the game because nobody could solve his puzzles, or simply that time was up. The thing that gets me is that there was so much work put into the puzzles of this game, and despite it being an ARG, at times it felt like it could almost be real. But without knowing the endgame or purpose for all of this, we're left with a sense of failure, as if we really are the fools like the Tin Man said. It's possible that due to the difficulty of the puzzles, that the investigators lost interest, and as a result, so did the Tin Man. But I did see some Redditors claim that this was all a part of an NFT project. This would make sense as the NFTs were first created in 2014, but they were not anywhere near as popular as they were later in 2021. As far as the NFTs, I couldn't find any evidence of them other than the claims from Reddit, so it's hard to say. If this was the case, then it would arguably be one of the more respectable NFT projects, but as of now, we have no conclusion, leaving us to question the potential fate of the mystery woman, the identity of the Tin Man, and what the meaning of all of this was. But I would love to hear your theories down in the comments. Was this all a complicated NFT project? An ARG that simply got too difficult? Or could there have been another meaning to all of this? Leave a like if you made it this far, and as always, thanks for watching.